Good evening and welcome to True Dogman Encounters, also known as Dogman Encounters, which would break it down to is Marvin Allen and the Doug Pack. How everybody doing this evening? Um, Tonight we do have a guest coming on, an eyewitness. We're gonna wait for some people to join us into the chat. Hey Matita, hey Marquetta, how everybody doing? Everybody doing good this evening. We got a good one. It's going to be paranormal and it's going to be cryptid. So we're going to wait for people to get into the inside the chat. And I got a little something. It's a little treat that eyewitness that gave to me yesterday, and it has something to do with cryptids. And when you hear it, story is just amazing and it's crazy. But we'll get into that later. Jesus, my Lord and Savior. How you doing, my friend? Dogwood Scripted, hello. How you doing? Hope everybody doing good on this Saturday. We're gonna make this we're gonna make this live count right here. We're gonna make this be a headbanger because I told you I got an encounter though that I think that y'all gonna really like and really enjoy. And it's gonna be shared with y'all first, despite everything. Don't forget to hit that like button, y'all. Support your pack. For the ones that's moderators on here, and now I'm talking about Marquetta, Dark Woods. If y'all can, please go post on the page and post in y'all groups that y'all in to let them know that the pack is live now. Southern guy, hello my friend. Please go and post in groups and let them know that the pack is live right now as we speak. And I got another eyewitness that posed to be contacted me, and it's a cryptid, but it's a Bigfoot, you know, eyewitness encounter. And what we're gonna start doing, we're gonna start breaking this down into all cryptids, which we do anyway. First to do it, we cover everything, the whole perimeter, not just Doug, man, not just this or that, but we cover everything. And we're going to start digging deeper into Bigfoot because there's so many people out there that has had Bigfoot encounters. And we need to get those stories out there too. Not just Doug Man, but we need to get these Bigfoot encounters out there too. As long as Goat Man, Rick, whatever it is, we're going to cover everything. We're going to cover the basics. We're going to dig down deep, deep into these encounters. And we're going to share it and we're going to bring these encounters to light to all of our members. That's what we're going to do. We're going to put the information out there so people can learn about these cryptids, so people can learn what makes them tick, so people can learn what not to do and what you should do, just in case you are in a situation where you really don't have a way out. These are the things that we are trying to do to shed light on these creatures. We're not going to just come halfway. We're going to bring you the whole loaf. We're not just going to share you a little bit of information. We're going to share everything because we don't want to tell y'all something half-ass. And then you go out there and get into a situation that could cost you your life. We're not here for that. If we're going to do something, we're going to do it 100%. Not 94, not 93, not 92. You're going to get 100% when it comes to the back. Because as I said so many times before, the pack got your back. When you join this group, you in it for life. Hey, Gerald, dude from Texas. How you doing, my friend? Don't forget to hit that like button, yo. Come on, hit the like button. Hey, Matilda, I'm glad you've been back on here and you've been posting. Now I'm gonna let everybody know right now on this page. I'm gonna let everybody know if you are a moderator, admin, or whatever, you have a job. You have a job to do as an admin and a moderator. Live up to those expectations, because if you don't, we gotta fill that slot. Now I think we got the best ones in the game. So for the mods and the ads, please start posting on a regular and get that out the way. Post and get it out the way. Because I love the group that we got. I love it. And y'all the best. Hands down. And I mean that. For the people that's in the group, for the people that's pack members, I need y'all to post every day. It only takes 5 minutes. Post something in your group, because it's yours too. Post something in the group. Don't just leave it up to this person or that person. Because people will look at us and be like, man, they don't do nothing over there, man. We ain't worry about that. Post in the group. Post pictures. Reach out to people who may have came in contact with these creatures. Reach out to them and tell them we would love to have them on the show. We're trying to run the numbers up. And when I say run it up, we're trying to run it up. We're trying to be the best that we could be. We the small dog right now, of course. But let's show them what we mean when we say pack. Let's show them what we mean when we say we stick together as a family unit. Let's run this up. Let's make this a pack. And we talking about the 10,000 mark. Let's run it up. Let's do it. We can do it. We got a good group of people here, man, that love and respect one another. So let's run it up, y'all. Let's do what we got to do as a family. If you see this person slacking, pull that person up and let them know, look, you did this, and I'm just making you aware. Don't scream at them, yell at them, or holler at them, or put them down. Pull them to the side and talk to them as a man or as a woman, and let them know what they're doing wrong. Let's do what we supposed to do as a family unit. Let's do it because we can do it. A lot of podcasters are counting us out. And I know it. I know it for a fact. But we ain't going nowhere. Let's show them. Let's show them that we're not going nowhere. We a family and we here. We here. And we not going nowhere. So let's show them. Let's show them that we stick together as a family unit. Let's show them. So everybody start posting, not just mods and ads. Everybody start posting in the page. The moderators, you know the names that's in the group. You know the members. Start looking on that list and you keep a track of the ones that's sharing on the page. Because we need everybody to contribute, not just one or two. Everybody, let's contribute it. Contribute to our page. Let's make it better. Let's make it better. We can do it. Enough about that. Get ready to call this eyewitness, man, and we can ready to dig into this. Put a one up if y'all ready. Let me put mine. Put up y'all ones if y'all ready. Put up y'all ones if y'all ready. Come on, y'all. Put up y'all ones if y'all ready for the cryptid and paranormal. We're going to dig straight into this. We're not going to keep y'all waiting. Let's do this. Put up y'all ones, y'all, if y'all ready. Let's do this. Okay. Can we call her now? Can we call her now, y'all? Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's get into this. Let's do this. Let's get into this. But I want to make sure y'all can hear her on the phone. Let's do this. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. I want to make sure y'all can hear her good. Okay, let me get this eyewitness on here, y'all. Let me get this eyewitness on there so we can okay. Hello? Can you keep it on the charge as we do it? Okay, well, yeah, hopefully it won't go off. Okay, let me hold on. Let me see if I can what's your first three numbers? What's your first three digits begin with? Your first three digits of your phone. 347. Hold up. All right. Let me find the number on here. 336 336 448. Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. I got the wrong number. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, 336. Let me do it. What's your first three numbers is 336. What else? Yeah. 908. Mm-hmm. 1134. All right. Now 908-1134. Okay. Now I'm calling this number now. When I call it, hang up on the other line. I'm calling it right now. So soon as it's ringing now. So hang up on that. This the number you on now. Okay. That's the number I need you on right there.
Okay.
Okay. All right, y'all. Got the got the eyewitness on the phone. We can ready talk cryptid, and we're gonna talk paranormal. But first, she's gonna jump in. She's gonna jump into some paranormal stuff that happened to her and that she experienced. So, T, I want you to again, I want you to let them know where you coming from, calling from. Basically, give us a bio of yourself. A little bit of information.
Well, I've been into the paranormal all my life. I'm from the foothills of North Carolina, close to the mountains, but not too close. A good bio for me would be I grew up on a farm with a lot of paranormal activity, and I'm also an empathic medium. I've spoken with the dead since I was a child. It's gone in and out until the past few years. I had a medical issue, had Lyme disease about 8 years ago, and the inactive bacteria and detox that I used opened my pineal gland even more to where I couldn't run from the visions. So the visions greet me for most of the time like a movie screen. And when I lay down to go to sleep at night, they come visit me, and it's almost like they're riding on a bus. They come, I can see their faces, I can see everything down to the color of their eyes, the texture of their skin, texture of their eyebrows, moles, everything. So I'm not going to be able to run from it anymore. So that's a bio about who I am and why I pick up on paranormal activity and cryptids is because I'm a sensitive medium in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Okay, another thing, we know that you experiencing these things yourself, but has anyone in your family, such as grandmother, great grandmother, experienced any of these things when you was coming up that you can remember?
Yes, my great grandmother was also psychic, and it runs in my family on the female side, on my mother's side, on the maternal female line. Also, we've got a family full of sleepwalkers, but I'm not a sleepwalker. I am a paranormal dreamer, an astral dreamer. I have very vivid dreams. That's also part of this structure within the psychic medium aura. But the women in my family down the line were psychic as well. Yes, it does run in the family.
Okay, wow. Then that that explains a lot. Now I can see that explains a lot. So by you growing up and as you growing up, do you think it was something about now let me finish first. Do you think it was something about the land that y'all was living on, as far as could it have been sacred ground, sacred burial mounds, or anything of that nature?
Yes, because we were farmers, and my great grandparents moved there in 1925 when my grandfather was 7 years old. So we consequently had 4 generations there, and I think it's probably an Indian burial ground since when he plowed the fields, he unearthed hundreds of arrowheads.
Wow. Wow.
See, and since they developed iPhones, and since I've been able to go out and shoot videos, I've picked up many manifestations. I think I've sent you 2 or 3 manifestations of ghosts. I like to call them manifestations because manifestations mean orbs, ghosts. So I like to go ahead, and I think the land is very haunted. I think it's on a burial ground, and I also think because it's on it's backed up to a power line and on a rock quarry where they blast granite, which granite is also another electromagnetic conductor. So that lends itself to manifestations as well. They're very attracted to electromagnetism.
Mm-hmm. Okay. One more question before we start digging into these sightings and these encounters. Do you believe that these cryptids, these creatures, play a part with the paranormal? In your words.
Definitely. I think they live together out there in the paranormal, because I picked up 2 Bigfoot silhouettes with the 2 ghost manifestations. I think they're part of the same realm. Definitely. I think they fit together with aliens and ghosts, and all of the paranormal fits together, especially out in the woods, around burial sites, around graveyards, around electromagnetic conductors. I think it all fits together.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I agree with you, because it's something about these creatures and these waterways and these power lines. It's like they attracted to them. Why? I really don't know, but it's like they're attracted to them for some reason, and that's something that I've been noticing through my travels and through my investigation. You know, I could find tracks that's leading straight down of these power lines. And I mean, these power lines would go on for miles. I mean, miles.
I think, quite frankly, I'm a believer that Bigfoot is interdimensional. I'm sorry, I just believe it, because the other, I've been way high up in the mountains and had recordings that picked up other frequency that sounded like Bigfoot.
Right.
And or a bird of prey. So I think seriously that they're interdimensional, because while I was doing the video, I couldn't hear anything. Nothing was audible until I hit slow motion on this video, and it recorded all this frequency, this other frequency. And I seriously think, from the black orbs that I showed you also, that they're not demonic. I think that's part of their interdimensional quality.
And I agree with you. Now, enough about that, T. We're gonna do what we came here to do, and the listeners are ready for it. Without further ado, I want you to jump straight into your paranormal and cryptid encounters and sightings, but start off with your paranormal experiences, when it started, and all that good stuff. So the floor is yours.
Well, around the age of 3, 4 years old, I was talking to the dead. I had an imaginary friend named Dina, and I can still see her now. I don't know what she died of, possibly cancer, but I can still see her carrying her white blanket. Every time we sat down to eat, my grandmother would have to set a place for her. So I was talking to the dead at a very, very young age until I went to school and started being around other people, and it left me for a while. Then at the age of 15, my mom and I were cleaning the house, and Princess Diana and Prince Charles were getting married that day, and we had it on TV, and we were cleaning up the house before it came on. And we were standing in the middle of the living room, and my great-grandmother, who had been dead since 1965, the year I was born, floated through the doorway. So that was the first apparition that I ever saw. So the dead have been speaking to me all along, whether I chose to listen or not, but now I don't have a choice. Sooner or later it catches up with you like everything else. It's just a part of your soul's purpose here, I guess.
Absolutely.
But the third paranormal thing that happened to me was I was living in Raleigh, North Carolina when I was going to school at UNC Chapel Hill, and I lived in Raleigh, North Carolina in this house that was like a ranch-style house that was built in the 70s. And I went to sleep one night, and I still to this day don't know if anything happened in that house, if someone died or if something bad happened. But I went to sleep, and there was a straight-back chair sitting that went to the computer table that was just sitting right beside the bed. So enters Shadow Man, and I had sleep paralysis, and I see this black shadow sit down in the chair and just sit down in the chair backwards and put its hands over the back of the chair, watch me sleep.
Wow.
And most of the time, even if you're dreaming, you can tell if they have malintent. You can tell if their intentions are good or if they're evil, and the intentions weren't good, and they were directed at me. It wasn't a succubus demon. It wasn't anything sexual. He wanted to watch me. And it was a male manifestation. So I screamed bloody murder and woke up my roommates, and I moved out of the house the next week. Never went back. They never saw anything. It never bothered them. But something always bothered me when I went to the house. And then that night, I'd been there about a year. This was 93, 94. Something like that. It wasn't too many years ago, but it was at least 25. But I still remember it vividly, how scared I was. And I had sleep paralysis too. So the sleep paralysis is real big in these vivid dreams, these astral dreams that you have. And I had another astral dream after I got off the Lyme disease medication. I took a really holistic approach to the Lyme disease, and I took some detox and the inactive bacteria that cost quite a bit of money that my insurance wouldn't pay for, so that I would try and get well. The antibiotics weren't working. So as soon as I got through with 2 rounds, took 2 months, 1 month each, I started having these astral dreams again. And I know that's why. I know it cleaned out my system and opened up my pineal gland. It just really cleared. It's like it made my pineal gland so wide open. I was having dreams of astral beings, alien hybrids, and alien robots. Then I started to have visions of the dead again, and they would come talk to me and tell me their story.
Wow.
So I started talking to people at work. There's a couple of people that I work with, one in particular who has the same ability, and he asked me one day if he thought that I could tell him what happened to his loved one. So I began using psychometry to talk to the dead even more. I Psychometry is looking at somebody's picture and being able to tell the story of what happened to them. So I've done two victim. I've helped two families with victims find out what happened to their loved ones and give them some closure.
That's good.
Sometimes it only takes hours. Sometimes it takes 2 weeks. Spirit speaks to you when it wants to. But this one in particular was a military man, and he came back from Nicaragua. He was a soldier in Nicaragua, and he was part of Special Forces operations, and the CIA hired him to be an informant up here in North Carolina. He thought he was going to be an informant, but they had actually moved the cocaine. Our government had moved the cocaine from Nicaragua up here through the Reagan administration. He had made a deal down there and actually moved the cocaine up here. And instead of this man being undercover, he became a part of a sting operation, and they put a hitman on him, and he was murdered. So I was able to determine that his murderer died in prison. He was picked up for another offense, and no one ever actually knew who his killer was. We know his name now, and I can't mention names, but you know, they had to lay him to rest without knowing anything until like 25 years later.
That's crazy.
So I've been able to help a family close out the chapter of his brother's death, murder. And it was a motorcycle gang that murdered him, and somebody put a hitman from a motorcycle gang, and they killed him in front of his children.
Oh, man. Come
so
on.
If you have abilities like this, and they won't leave you alone, just ask God to put you in the right position. Don't charge money, and don't go to the police department and try to help find murder victims. Sometimes the police are dirty too, though. You got to be careful. And what I do, you got to be real careful because they're dirty cops. But if you use your ability in the favor of God, then you can't go wrong. If you help people find their loved ones or help people compensate for death and bereavement, then you're doing God's work.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. When was the I'm gonna say, when was the first time? Oh, let me ask you this. Have you ever had any alien abductee?
I have dreamed that I was abducted, but psychologists and psychiatrists say that the dreams don't mean you've been abducted, so I'm not sure. But yes, I've been dreamed that I was abducted from the backyard. I've been dreamed that I've been abducted from a college campus in an elevator, and I actually looked at the ship, and it was the size of a movie theater, and you conducted conversation telepathically. And I've had dreams about alien robots. I've had dreams about the big tall blue.
Wow.
And I've had dreams about alien hybrids.
Wow.
Yes. So I don't know what kind of contact that the astral world is trying to get with me, but it's terrifying. I don't wish to go through it again. It's because you have sleep paralysis while you have all this happen to you, and it's not fun.
And I don't blame you that you don't want this stuff to happen to you again. I really don't. But evidently these beings, or whatever you want to call them, are trying to communicate with you. You know, trying to tell you something. But some either they trying to tell you something, or it's something that they want you to help them with.
Well, they want you to respect them. That's what they told me. They want to be respected because they want you to know that they're there. And they want you to respect them because they can come and get you at any time. That's what they wanted me to know. And that's part of why people are disappearing. They're being abducted through portals.
Far as the 411.
Yes.
Now let me say this though, T. When it comes to the missing 411, and you know, we have talked about this, and I have talked about this with my group, and you know, other people that's in this field. Right now, to be truthful, only the people I think that have experienced it themselves.
That's why they wanted me to know this, though. I started studying this phenomenon, and then I started having these dreams, and they wanted me to know that that's what's happening.
Okay, yeah, and I understand it, but I'm saying though, far as the people that have experienced it themselves and been abducted and you know came back, but when it comes to you got 15 people walking out on a path in the Great Smoky Mountains. All of a sudden, that 15 person is gone.
I don't know necessarily about them disappearing from packs like
right,
that.
But see, they do. But see, listen, they do. They do.
Yeah,
now that 15 person is gone. Now they don't know where that person went. They just up and disappeared. Now I'm gonna tell you, it was a great story and a great an encounter that was told by the mother and the daughter. Now they walking in one of these national parks. The name I will not give out, but they walking in this national park. While they walking, the mother is using her phone at this time. Kids is in front of her. She said they couldn't have been no more than 10 feet. She drops her phone. She bends down to pick it up. When she picks her phone up and look, her son is gone. She runs up there. Wasn't that far? Where's your brother at? Where's your brother? Do you know what this little girl told her mother?
No, what'd she tell her?
She said the big hairy man took him.
Yeah, that's another thing that's taking them. Some.
The big hairy man took him.
I've been in the woods all my life. Never dreamed I had Bigfoot living on my property. And also never came across anything paranormal in the woods. Been in the woods. I grew up in the woods, literally. Tending the land, walking the woods, hiking, canoeing, swimming, and whitewater rafting, and not rafting, swimming in rivers and lakes. And I've never ever, until now, the past 6 years, had anything paranormal happen to me.
Right, and the thing to get me though, that's why I said I will never sit here and blame cryptids on taking.
I've never seen any cryptids. Is what I mean.
That's what I'm saying though, but I will not sit here and blame cryptids and taking these people because for one, we have no proof. For two, we have no concrete evidence. Until we can produce that, then we can say Goat Man. Then we can say Rick. Then we can say Doug Man. But until we got concrete evidence, we can't sit here and penalize something or someone for taking thousands, and I mean thousands of missing people. We just can't do it.
I've been off the grid hiking too, way up in the Blue Ridge Parkway in the mountains of Tennessee. I've been way off grid camping in my lifetime, and you can get so far off the grid that you have no idea. I've run into rattlesnakes as big around as my leg up in the mountains of North Carolina. They've been poached out of there since the 80s when I used to hike and go camping.
They still down there.
But you never know what you're going to run into. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely right.
It would be a rattlesnake as big around as my leg.
Absolutely right. You absolutely right, T. That's why I said we can't blame something. We can't. Get the information and the proof. Bring it to the table. Let's examine it and find out what we come up with. And then we can find this thing or this person guilty. But until then, it's just an open book. It's just an open book.
T doesn't camp anymore. T, myself, doesn't camp anymore unless it's in an RV. Because of all of this stuff, I don't camp anymore unless it's in an RV.
And I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. And another thing I was getting ready to say, they have found, steps in the middle of the forest.
That's right.
Spiral steps and stuff like. How in the world did these steps get in the middle of the? We talking about thousands and thousands of acres in the woods,
thousands of feet up.
It's just this is something that boggles the mind. This is something that have you like, hey, when I tell y'all about this encounter that I'm getting ready to tell you about, man, it's gonna blow your mind, man. And it's crazy and it's creepy. But y'all gonna be the first to hear it. You can still finish talking, T, until I get ready.
Well,
anybody got any questions about her paranormal experiences? Please put them in all caps right now. Any questions, please put them in all caps.
Animals are attracted to empaths. Creatures, all animals are attracted to people who are sensitive. And so I think that if you're out in the woods enough, if you hike enough, you're going to probably run across a few footprints. But as for them to let me film them with my particular story, I think is pretty special. For them to even let me get close like that through a set of trees, but still be able to pick them up. So I'm actually really grateful.
Right. Absolutely.
I'm grateful, but I'm also, it's also mind-boggling at the same time to have non-believers, and it can be mind-blowing and make you extremely have a lot of anxiety.
This man's flesh.
And I think as I was saying the other night with the first live that we did, I think that cryptids like Bigfoot are part of the monsters and the watchers that come out of the Book of Enoch, part of the Nephilim. Maybe not the whole side of the Nephilim, but part of the Nephilim, the fallen angels, the monsters. And I think they're a subgroup of humans too. I think they have human blood in their DNA. I think they're part human, and I think the Native Americans respect them and call them their blood brothers, and I think the rest of us should respect them too. Not hunt them. And I think they can be very dangerous if they want to be. They have a much bigger skill set than humans. Especially out in the woods, they can trick you. And they are to be respected.
That's when we slowly back up.
And I think they probably want to be left alone.
Yeah, it's just so much that we don't know and that we need to learn about these creatures. And I mean, whatever one you want to call them, creatures, monsters, demonic, whatever. We need to learn about them instead of going out and trying to execute them. That should be our last resort. Killing should be our last resort when it comes to these creatures, because I don't care, evil, whatever. I think that they got some type of empathy. They got some type of feeling. This is my thoughts. I think that they feel too. I think they mourn when they lose a loved one.
Yeah.
Now that's when the human side.
The ones on our property actually like me. They actually whistle when I come around like birds. Some of them. They've been really nice to me. Left me a gift or two. But I think that they are dangerous potentially.
No, I'm not saying that, but I think they mourn. I think they mourn when they lose someone close to them.
Yeah,
I think they mourn. That's the human. They part human, so they gotta produce some kind of human attributes when it comes to that. So I think that they feel too.
Yeah, they feel.
I don't think they just
feel your intentions too.
Right.
They feel you have bad intentions. They might kill you.
I don't think they just run around, just scan a person all day. I think that they feel empathy and stuff like that too, and it's just me. But I think that would.
In the background of pictures, watching my family, they watch.
I think that that's the human side of them. I think that's the human side of them. I think that they feel, and that's just my opinion. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I'm gonna keep seeking the information that I need to find out certain things like that. But I think that killing is the last resort. I really do. If it comes down to that, I think killing is the last resort. We should learn what we can about these creatures. That's what we should be trying. That's what we should try to do.
definitely. We need to learn because they're everywhere now. There's so many people from the southeastern United States, especially in the South. The deep South, even more than up here in North Carolina, is not really deep South, but it's South enough. But the more land that you're surrounded by, the more things that live there and hide. And I've known hunters to actually tell me stories about ghosts come to them sitting in a tree stand at night. You shouldn't really stay out in the woods all night long, not unless you have a group of people and some weapons. I don't suggest going hunting way up in the mountains unless you've got a group of people and a campfire. And don't leave the light of the campfire. Don't go out too far at night.
2 hours.
That's from a person who grew up in the woods and listening to hunters all my life. And my father and my grandfather and my sons and everybody are hunters.
That's just where I'm at when it comes to them. You know what I mean? Because they got a family just like we got family. They're going to do whatever they have to do to protect their loved ones and their pack. That's what an alpha do. That's what an alpha do. He protect his.
And the alphas come out at night too. They're the ones that pack hunt.
Yeah.
They're ambush predators at night, though. You better be careful at night. They become ambushed predators because they have to have food for their family.
You're absolutely right. So you thinking when they eat, what is their calorie intake?
I have no idea. I heard somebody on Bigfoot Hotspot Radio one day say 30,000 calories a day.
Well,
and that's just what I heard somebody on the Hotspot Radio.
Okay, and if that's the case, then just say you got a pack of 30 and they hunting deer. How many deer would they need to slaughter or kill in that one day?
I'd say 1 to 2 beings, 1 deer for 2 beings.
But that's something that we don't know.
That's something that I wouldn't know. But they eat berries and they eat a whole lot of
they eat other things too, but
yeah. But they have a large calorie intake. They would have to.
Yes. Johnny, what's up, Johnny Rocco? What's up, my friend? Glad you could join us. But that's what I'm saying, though. Murder would be the last resort when it comes to these creatures. We need to learn what we can about them. That's what we need to do. I think if we came together as a group and worked it with other researchers, then I think we could get to the bottom of this. But when you got this person don't like this person, that person don't like this person, that person, you're not gonna never get nowhere. You're not gonna never resolve the problem. You're just not gonna resolve it because you bickering back and forth. And trust me, I have did it and I have wasted a lot of time in doing it. Instead of trying to comment, man, we need to do this. And I think that we can accomplish a lot if we do this. I respect everybody in this field. Everybody.
Well, I tell you, I've reached out to people here in North Carolina, and they're really egotistical, and the ones out west too. They say, "Well, we've got people who sent us much better footage than you," and I've got a really good, clear vocalization and very good footprints, and a footprint of a dog, man, that I guarantee you very few people have, and they're just real egotistical in this field, and that's why I don't reach out anymore to too many. That's
right.
why, I let Dr. Lester lead me to you.
yeah, it's just a whole lot to it when it come to this, because we don't know how many different cryptids are out there. We actually don't.
No, we
Because
have no idea.
now, when you break it down and you want to talk about the Book of Enoch, now the Book of Enoch said that they didn't just mate with women; they said they defiled everything.
Yeah, right.
That means
That's why
they
some of
could
them came out to be like recombinant DNA. That's why they came out to be monsters.
right. Right. That's what I'm saying though. Some people have seen toad men. So if they defiled everything, then everything that they laid their eyes on, they could have created these creatures.
Absolutely.
Toad men, frog men, lizard men, snake men.
Mothman.
That's what I'm saying. If they defiled everything, it could be so many different cryptids out here. It's just, it will boggle the mind. It will boggle the mind on how many cryptids that will be out here. Different kinds. Something we don't know. Can't nobody sit down here and say, oh, it's only these cryptids out here. You don't know. And that's what killed me. People will be like,
crawl at night, they catch on trail cameras, they will scare you into
that's just like this. People will say, I'm telling you, it's only this out here. I've been an investigator for 50 years, and it's only these many. You don't know. You've been sitting behind a desk for 50 years.
Oh, that's funny.
You don't know how many of these different kind of creatures are out here, or different cryptids. So don't, when people say this, man, you got to prove to me that it's only these kind of cryptids out here. You got to prove to me. If I fall for something, I fall for anything. And I ain't about to do that. But you got to prove to me that it's only 5 different cryptids out here in the world. No, you're not getting me with that one. You got to bring your homework with me. You got to bring your homework with me. If they defiled everything, then that means it could be a fly cryptid. Don't nobody know what's out here. They don't know what's out here, so stop saying it's only this, it's only that. You don't know. You don't know. If we work together, then we can get a lot of stuff accomplished. Trust me. We can get a lot of stuff accomplished. Do anybody got any questions for T in the chat? Please put them in all caps, and I can read them off about our paranormal experiences. So just let me know. Anybody got any questions? I'm looking through the chat. I'm trying to see if anybody got any from what she had talked about earlier.
If y'all go hunting, or if you want to go camping or go off trail hiking, do like Dave Polita said, get you a personal locator beacon, or take a handgun if you got one, if you go too far off the grid. Because, you don't want to run into a bear or anything else. Bigfoot doesn't show its face all that much. And the other cryptids don't really show their faces that much. It's other things like wild bobcats, snakes, bears.
Right.
I'm sure that if you're a cryptid hunter, then you're probably a woods walker like me.
So wolf. Somebody say, hey, Shadow God, how you doing, my friend? Okay. Okay. For all the new ones to the group, welcome. Welcome to the pack. Where use a family member for life. If anybody on here is trying to be a moderator or admin, please contact one of the moderators or admin in blue on here, and they'll get in contact with me. We could really use the help. Blackwater Media Tier would like to know, is there any game trails in your area? He said it seems like that Bigfoot followed
they're all
those.
over the place. Uwharrie National Park. We've got Uwharrie. We've got the Smoky Mountains. There's game trails all over the place. But you know, you got a hunting season. You can't. The game warden, they fly drones in.
Wow.
Yeah, we've been caught baiting turkeys on our land, and my son got fined. So they fly drones in and take pictures of it to make sure you're not hunting out of season or trapping.
So what hunting season it is right now?
Right now, it's nothing. Right now, nothing is in season.
Okay.
Turkey season ended from January to April, and that was the end of. You get caught killing anything or trapping anything right now, you stand a chance of getting a really big fine, and depending on how much you got or what type of weapon, you could get put in jail. You can fish this time of year. That's about it. The out west, I don't know, might be bear season out there, but here, deer season starts October 1st.
Okay, somebody said that they think that their calorie intake is from 8,000 to 10,000 per day. That's a lot.
Yeah, I heard 30,000, but I don't know. Who probably knows? It's a lot more than human.
Okay.
Considering we shouldn't eat more than a couple thousand a day.
Right.
1,200 to 2,000.
We got another question, T, and this come from Derek Isaac. He said, "Do you think dogmen can sense your fear?" I do. I'm gonna be the first to answer that. Yes, I do.
All animals can sense your fear.
Yes. Yes.
Humans too. Yeah, I think cryptids definitely they know your intentions.
Yes, they can.
I've never seen a dog man, but I know you have, Marvin. I know you have seen them. Him. I know dog man is a little more vicious, and I've been told from people in the area that I've contacted not to go out there at night because I have found dog man tracks. So
Hold on, y'all. Wait a minute. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get something to drink.
Pretty vicious.
You can talk to him, T.
Yeah, I started finding footprints, tracks. I come from a 120-acre farm. My mom and my son still live there. And Memorial Weekend of 2020, we have a rock quarry and a power line backed up to our land. So that's about 300 acres all together between all three tracks. So the rock quarry, I trek over there all the time, and I used to walk up and down the rock piles. And so I discovered this footprint that was huge, especially in width. So I've been studying Bigfoot, David Paulides, and Vic Cundiff, and Bigfoot Hotspot Radio since 2014 because I've always believed in it. Just never knew it was so close. So I go over, like I said, trekking through the rock piles, and I take a picture of this footprint. I knew it was a Bigfoot print because of the way the middle toe curved to the right. I'd seen them on YouTube and on Google. Hunters had put them up there, taken from their still shots off their iPhone and from really good cameras. So I started walking over there more, and I got more and more footprints. So I decided one day that I would sneak up the ravine from the rock quarry and go down into our farmland area. So this was when the leaves were off the trees around the beginning of October, or the middle of October of last year. So I decided, well, if I'm going to get any pictures, I'm going to have to get them on the sly. I'm going to have to take a video and then go back and still shoot. Which, gosh, I got plenty of pictures. Good.
And I can believe.
Then October the 7th of last year, I was coming up my mom's drive, and it slopes about 7 o'clock. It was already dark, and I saw one of the big ones running through her backyard.
Mm-hmm.
And I was telling Mr. Marvin that it was about between 7'5" and 8 feet tall, and the size of the head was about the size of a 5-gallon bucket. It was the color of a grizzly bear, and it actually looked like a grizzly bear running upright. And that's the first time I'd ever seen how big it is, and it scared me to death. I had to leave. I knew it was there, but I wanted to see it on my terms. I didn't want to be scared like that.
Right. Somebody just said this, T. Somebody said that, okay, Southern Guy, we appreciate that. He said, now I can post some stuff on Marvin's page and Facebook. Hey, love that. I'm glad you finally can do that now. Kyle E. Snyder said that. He said that Southern Guy's guy, one of Vic's witnesses, said the Doug man was 10 to 12 feet tall. Does that sound possible? Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
I found footprint that's 21 inches long. Definitely.
Now, listen to this. I had an eyewitness in Canada, and he said he was out near some cornfields during this time, near some cornfields. And he said he went to, relieve himself, and he said just up in the wood line, he seen this blue orb that started to just pulsate. Then it started to open up, and he seen this black object fall, boom, hit the ground. Now he said when this thing hit the ground, it hit, and it just stood like this.
That's what I told you.
It didn't move. Now listen. Now, about 20 feet over, he see another blue orb pulsates, open, another black object. Boom. And it stands up. He said these two creatures walks over into the cornfield. Now, mind you, he said during this time, the tip of the corn stalks was 9 feet tall. And he said that these things still stood about another 4 feet above the tip of that corn. So you talking 13 to 14 feet tall. He said these creatures was massive. So you figure the head on them is the size of they the size of this box I'm looking at right now. I'm gonna get this box. That's a big boy.
Yeah, they're associated with orbs. Definitely.
You're talking 13 or 14 feet tall. That's a big boy. These things get so 12 feet ain't nothing. When you got giants that people seen that's 30, 20, 30, 40, and 50. Come on, man. You talking about humongous. And then you say, where do these creatures hide at? Anywhere they can. Mountain, caves, underground. It's underground systems. So we don't know. We don't know. We could say, yeah, they sleep underground. I don't know nobody that been down there and laid down with them. So we can always throw this out here and say they live here. But in all naturality, we don't know. It's like we playing a guessing game. And that's the truth. We playing a guessing game because I don't know nobody that been in that cave and sat down and played cards with them. We playing a guessing game when it come to this. Because it's nobody that went in this cave and got evidence. Nobody went underground and got evidence. We playing a guessing game when it come to this. That's all we doing. So I'm not gonna let nobody sit there and tell me, man, I'm telling you, they live in Mammoth Cave. I was down there and I sat down with them and we talked. No, you won't get me like that. Show me some pictures or something. We playing a guessing game when it come to that. Either way you look at it. Any more questions y'all got as far as her paranormal and as far as her speaking to the dead and stuff like that? All caps. I got an encounter if y'all want to hear it. Put them up. Y'all already know what it is.
I want to hear it.
Mm-hmm. I got one. All right. Okay. Y'all know what to do. If y'all want to hear it, put it up. Y'all want to hear it, put it up. Put it up and let's do it. Let's do what we do. Put a one up, y'all, if y'all want to hear it. Put a one up, y'all. And don't forget to hit that like button. Put a one up, y'all. Let's do this. All right, I'm going to speak first. Can y'all hear me good? I'm trying to find out in the chat. T, can y'all hear me good in the chat? Am I good enough to start? All right, y'all. As y'all know, anonymity means a lot to me, even with my eyewitness on the night, and that's something that I hold strongly to. Um, this encounter right here, it happened in the 70s, and this guy, and he took one cameraman with him, and they was in search of this bird type owl that was supposed to go that was supposed to went extinct 100 years ago during this time, that nobody have seen it or have sighted. So word got out that people were seeing it in the Amazon. So this guy who had money, he was rich. He traveled to the Amazon. And when he got there, he started talking to the locals. And he was asking them about this bird. Have anybody seen it? Because people said that they have seen it and everything. And he said that people had started to come forth and say, yes, we seen it. We heard it. So he said that I will pay good money. We need a guide to take us in, because this is no man's land. They don't know where they're going at. So they need a guide to take them in. But as they ask people, no, not go in there, not go. Kept asking people. No, not go. Till he finally came to this one person who said that he would be their guide and take them in deep into the Amazon. The ones that turned him down told him, be careful. And he said, why be careful? I mean, what's wrong? He said, be careful of the little ones. He said, yeah. The other guy was like, yeah, it was, it's just a story about, it's supposed to be these, little creatures out in the Amazon and everything. So the guy was willing, to take them. So they goes in tracking to try to find this so-called bird owl or whatever they was looking for that nobody have seen in over 100 years, to get evidence. Now at this time, they was using a 8mm camera, which would they say was around the best to use during that time. So they tracking in. They got recorders and everything. So as they get to this certain spot, they start to hear sounds. Now the sounds that they heard, they never heard before. Even the guide said that he never heard this sound ever before. And he grew up here. So for him not to know this sound, they knew that they had something. So he decided, they brought rope and all that. So he decided to climb this tree and place a camera deep up so he could catch this thing, so they can get this thing and get pictures of it. So he starts to climb this huge tree, and he's climbing. He's climbing. Now, mind you, the rope that they said they was using, it was thick. So they knew it was secured. They knew that nothing could go wrong, that they thought so. So as he's climbing and climbing, he's moving past branches, he's still climbing. And they said as he starts to get up further and further, the branches that he had to move around and still climb up, their vision was obscured, so they couldn't see him at all. They was just yelling up at them, "You okay? You okay?" He's saying he okay. They said after about 30 to 40 more seconds, everything just stopped. You couldn't hear nothing he said. It got dead quiet. You talking about in the Amazon, where you hear nothing but noise. All of a sudden, this rope drops. All you hear was him howling as he hurled deep, deep from all the way up in this tree down. They said he landed on his legs first. They said this man landed on his legs first, pushing everything, bones. They said the sight was just unbearable. He broke vertebrae and everything. They said he was bleeding so bad, they tried to make tourniquets. But they said it was nothing that they could do. Now, mind you, this they guide. This is the person that took them in and was supposed to take them out. But they said this man bled out and he died. So now they standing there because they had a loss now. They just lost the one thing that could lead them back to safety. They said so they didn't know what to do with the body. So they took rocks and stones and they placed it over him. He said that's when they walked back to camp, where they had camp set up. They walked back to camp and they started a fire. Sat around and they made something to eat. After they ate and talked, he said, I think that we should follow the river. The river should lead us out of here. So that's what they was planning to do the next day. So they go in their tent. They getting ready because they getting ready to lay down. They said all of a sudden, they started hearing the weirdest noises that they ever heard before. So the cameraman hollers over. He said, did you hear that? He said, yeah, I hear it. He said, well, what do you think it is? He said, man, I don't know. They said they stayed in the tent. They said that's when they started to hear steps running around that camp. But they said they wasn't heavy. They was light. Running around their camp. So after it stopped, they comes out with their flashlights. Now, mind you, the canopy is thick. Now it ain't even dark out, but the canopy is so thick that it's blocking out everything. It comes out with their flashlights and they hear something just over on the other side of the tent in the tree. Now, mind you, these are the exact words of what they saw back in the 70s in the Amazon. They said when they looked over in that tree, they saw small humanoid creatures. He said they couldn't have been no more than 1 to 2 feet tall. They say, but their body was covered in it was covered in hair, but you could still see the skin. He say, but when these things open their mouth, each teeth looked at like incisors, meaning they had teeth that was meant for ripping meat.
Wow.
He say, but in the face, they looked at like they looked at human, but they was just so small. He said, and they had very long arms, ears, eyes, no, everything. He said, and there was many of these things. He said, so what they did was stoke the fire. They made the fire bigger. He said he glad that they did that because the fire kept them at bay. They didn't go to sleep. They stayed up. They stayed up to daybreak. And they say, look, man, we getting out of here. But what they did, the very next day, they went back to the exact spot of where they buried their guy. Now, this is the part that blew my mind. They say when they get there, they see these small humanoid creatures removing the rocks and the stones from the body of this man. Now, mind you, they already removed the part of the head and coming down to do his chest. And he said these things was eating him. They was eating him alive, where you can hear bones crushing as they chew. They said their jaws drop as these little, whatever you want to call them, was eating this dead body. And they acted like they wasn't there. They just eating and chewing. And you can hear the bones. He say they backed up slowly. but still keeping their eyes on these small humanoid beings because they couldn't believe what they were seeing. Now, to top it off, what will they tell this man's loved one and family about what happened to him?
Hopefully that he just got lost.
They leave, and they go back to camp. I'ma stop there because it's more. I got to get the rest, but I wanted to give y'all that right there, man. This just blew my mind. It's crazy. Y'all got any questions? Send them through in all caps.
They got a show called Missing in Alaska where they talk about those little troll-like creatures covered in hair with those big sharp teeth, and they carry clubs up in the folklore in Alaska. This show, Missing in Alaska, is pretty good. It's about cryptids as well.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it before.
And it's pretty good, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It's not as
but
good as your story.
That's crazy though, because when you that's crazy though when you talk about something that's small and got the capability in the jaw pressure of crushing the bone.
Well, that's a whole lot of countries have that lore with those little trolls that are, even Ireland, you know, the leprechaun was supposedly had those sharp teeth like that too and would kill. The Lemurians, you know, George Nury on Coast to Coast talks about the Lemurians in a lot of Icelandic lore, and you know where they come, the little people with the sharp teeth come out of the rocks.
It's just crazy because I got more encounters. And it's gonna be of these little creatures too, because it's different kinds of them, man. And these was just purdy cannibals. However you want to put it.
That's what they say they are.
These was purdy cannibals. Because you got these things eating this man's face.
I've got a story from the Tishomingo National Forest in Mississippi that was on Wes and Woody's show, Bigfoot Hotspot Radio, if you have time.
Go ahead.
I heard this about 5-6 years ago. This man came on there and he was crying. I've never heard a story this poignant. I'll say, he didn't tell his age, but he sounded like he was my age, you know, in his 50s. Riding along the Tishomingo Forest, he delivered magazines for a company, and he drove a Dodge Sprinter van. And it was an older Dodge Sprinter van, and it was middle of summer. And, you know, Mississippi's even further south, and it's really, really hot.
Mm-hmm.
So the serpentine belt, he says, these are his exact words, I'll never forget this as long as I live. The serpentine belt broke on the Sprinter van, and so he had to pull over because it stopped working. It just died in the middle of the road. So he finally got it off the side of the road, and it started to rain. And it was getting dark, and so he decided he was going to relieve himself. So he stepped outside. It was about dusk, so he steps out the side of the van to relieve himself, and sits back down after he gets through relieving himself, and a 9-foot creature comes to the back of the van and screams. He said that he had a small caliber handgun, and he said he didn't a bit more get himself back in the van. He peed on himself, and he actually reached for the gun and shot up into the air, and it hit the top of the van. It came back down, and he said he lost his hearing for a little tiny bit. Between the creature roaring and him shooting off the gun, all this happened, he said, in 30 seconds time. pulled off to the side of the forest. That's what I mean by not going to the side of a big forest, a big national park. You know, you just got to have firepower, and I wouldn't go. Not now, what I know. But this man said that he got himself together and shot up in the air, and they finally left, and he said it was lightning and really dark at this point. Within a minute's time, it got darker and darker, and he said it started to thunder and lightning, and the lightning would flash up to the background of the woods, and he saw 3 more Bigfoot running, to let you know what ambush pack predators they can be if they're out somewhere in a big national forest. I'm not talking about the ones maybe on someone's private property, but the ones that are out in national forests packed together, and they run together. And if you decide you want to take a hike in a national forest like the Tishomingo National Forest, or even up here in the Shenandoah National Forest in Tennessee, near the North Carolina border, up in the Blue Ridge Parkway, Linville Falls, where they've sighted Bigfoot many times. If you want to take a chance, if you really want to see Bigfoot, go to a national park.
Right.
And hang out. You might, I hope you come back. This man was so pitiful. He said it looked like a picture of them and us. And if you Google them and us, you'll come up with a creature that's so scary that if you saw it inside your van, I don't think you'd ever be the same either. This man was sobbing. A grown man.
And I believe it.
So this is why I don't even hang out on the farm at night. I'm scared. I'm going to have someone come hang out with me, or 2 or 3 people. Somehow, some way, it's nighttime just scares me. You know, and they have night vision. These creatures have night vision.
Where? With their eyes?
Yeah, they have red and green and yellow glowing eyes. I've seen the eye shine. A lot of them have red eye shine. It's scary too. I don't like that either. It's scary.
Yeah, I don't need.
This national park scene is scary. This national park stuff is really scary. It makes you not ever want to go again. Make you wonder, these people that keep disappearing, do they not listen to the YouTube? Do they not listen to Dave Paulides? Do they just think they just want to step into oblivion up way high up? And, you know, I go up to Hanging Rock State Park here in North Carolina. It's just a small mountain range, and it's still very remote.
Wow.
It's still very remote.
And I believe it.
I've picked up EVPs there. I've picked up, I was making a Lyme disease video in 2018 and accidentally hit slow motion and picked up another frequency. So you got all kinds of stuff going on where there's rock outcroppings and mountain ranges. You know, mountain ranges, a lot of times the boulder fields, even Dave Paulides talks about boulder fields, disappearances, and I'll be a witness to the Hanging Rock State Park up here in North Carolina, how remote and how spooky it is. And it's only 1 and 2 mile hikes. So you can imagine these 30-mile hikes these people go on way up into the oblivion.
Right.
Way off the grid, what they must go into.
And they could be anything. A vortex. We never know. Cause I don't know nobody that went through a vortex and came back and got pictures and said, well, this is how it is over there. And they got lovely people. The women are beautiful and the animals talk and all that, man. So I don't know about all that, but I do think that they go through. I do think that they could go through something, you know, like they say we can time travel. But when you say time travel, right now, this what would get me. Let's picture time travel. let's say time travel. What would happen if you time travel, let's say 100,000 years ago in the past? Let's say you go back 100,000 years ago. How would that scenery look? Would it still be the same as it was back then?
No.
No, I'm just getting somewhere. I ain't finished. I'm just saying I'm getting somewhere. Would it still be the same situation that it was back then? Would it look the same? Would the people still be there? Would you be able to communicate with them? Because what's back then is gone. It's gone. That means if people could go back, then things could
That
be.
means large
That means
prey,
that
or
mean-
anything could be
that
hiding
mean-
in that vortex.
that means things could be changed. You could change events, and that's not happening.
That's scary too.
Yeah.
I watch Canon Missing Project every day with Dave Politis. I watch somebody disappear every single day. Every single day of my life, I watch a new video where somebody has disappeared again and again and again.
Absolutely. Well, absolutely. Like I said, I wanted to put this live out, man. I wanted to do that. I wanted to talk about that, and we did cover some nice things tonight, and I really appreciate it. I appreciate everybody that showed up and showed out, man. And like I said, man, we're gonna keep searching and seeking for the truth. Like, we're not gonna fall for no anything. When people said that now I heard this on Miss Mars show yesterday when she was like, she didn't believe in types. I don't believe in types. Type 1, type 2, type 3, type 9, type 50 and 90. I don't believe in types. I just think that they are different breeds, meaning they are, different breeds of these creatures. Like, you got some that look like hyenas, Doberman pigeons, mastiffs, Malamute, huskies, shepherds, Saint Bernards, Dobermans, Chihuahuas, a child. You got different varieties of these creatures, just like you got different varieties of breeds of dogs. So I don't believe when they say it's types. Oh, it's a type 1, it's a type 2.3. Oh, it's a type 4.1. Man, no. Where did you come up with this? Who made you the scientist and say that you got the right to say that this is types?
So you say breed, a different breed.
Right.
Like a different, yes, they're different breeds.
Right.
Yeah, that's
different breeds.
That's
I don't.
correct term.
We would. A lot of us, even in my group, we don't believe in. Don't believe in that. When it comes to types, come on, man. I want to know the person who sat down. I want to know the person who sat down and said that they came up with when they did their research, they came up with types. I want to meet him. Please call me on Messenger and explain to me how you came up with types. Please, from A to B. Please explain to me, because I want to know. How did you become an expert? And for all of us to follow and believe you when it comes to these types. Can't do it. But again, T, I want to thank you so much for coming on again and sharing that second part. But I want you to reach out to some people down there and see if you can come up with some encounters and sightings, man, and put me in contact with them, and we can get on the phone, and hopefully they'll open up and they'll come on the show and talk about it.
I'm on a lot of Facebook Bigfoot little subgroups, so I'll put you in touch with some of them here in North Carolina.
That'll work. That'll work. I appreciate that. But wait a minute, T. As always, y'all, I want to thank everybody, man, for coming out, showing up and showing out and showing y'all support, man, and let me know, man, that no matter what, man, we haven't been having no bickering, no trolling or nothing like that. And that's what I love about y'all, man. We got the best pack in the game. So now tomorrow is Sunday. Might do something Sunday, might just come on here and tell some encounters. You know, on live, just tell some encounters. But until next time, man, I will see y'all on the next True Doug Man Encounters, or we can say Marvin Allen and the Doug Pack. Until next time, I see y'all. Peace.